Okay, you guys, things in the AI world have gotten wild in just the last few weeks. I mean, it's been completely shaken up. You've got Google dropping this bombshell feature that basically knows everything about you. Then there's OpenAI making this massive play for the mass market. And out of nowhere, a new competitor is just redefining speed. And the craziest part, it's all pointing towards a piece of hardware we all thought was dead and buried. Yeah, this is not just another update. We're talking about a fundamental shift in the whole AI race. So let's get right into it.
So, what's at the heart of all this chaos? Well, it really boils down to two totally different ideas about how AI is going to win you over. Think about it. On one side, you've got this promise of a super personal assistant, one that knows your history, your habits, your entire digital life. But on the other side, it's the promise of a powerful, capable tool that's cheap, easy, and available to literally everyone. So which is it going to be? This, right here, is the new battleground.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. We're going to kick things off with Google's personal path. Then we'll jump over to OpenAI and their mass market strategy. After that, we'll look at Flux, this new speed force, and we'll wrap it all up with the smart glass endgame.
All right, first up, let's talk about Google, because this is a big one. They are going all in on making their Gemini assistant truly personal. And I'm not just talking about a little software update here. They're trying to create a whole new category of AI.
So the name they've given this is personal intelligence. And honestly, this is a massive leap from what we're used to. I mean, think about Siri or Alexa. They're fine, but they're basically just glorified search boxes with a voice, right? They don't really have any memory. Google's plan here is for Gemini to actually understand your life, your context. So let's paint a picture. Let's say you're planning a trip to Paris. You could ask Gemini, hey, make me an itinerary. A normal AI, it's going to spit out a generic touristy list. But this Gemini, this is where it gets crazy. It could dig into your Gmail and see from your past flight confirmations that you always pick a window seat. It could scan your Google Photos from that trip to Italy and see, you spent a ton of time in small indie art museums. Then it checks your Maps history and notices you're obsessed with tiny hole-in-the-wall cafes. And boom, it builds an itinerary that is 100% you. That's the real magic here, an assistant that knows what you want, maybe even before you do.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. The second you hear AI is reading my Gmail, every alarm bell in your head starts screaming, right? It sounds a little creepy. And Google knows this. They are absolutely hammering the privacy angle. They're making a bunch of promises. You're in total control of which apps get connected. You can flick personalization on and off whenever you want. And here's the big one. They swear your private data is only referenced to give you an answer. It's not being fed back into the machine to train their giant models. They're trying to draw this super clear, hard line in the sand to get us to trust them.
So why go through all this trouble? What's the end game for Google? It's simple, really. Personalization is the ultimate superglue. It's the ultimate lock-in. I mean, think about it. If Gemini becomes the central hub for your entire digital life, your emails, your photos, your maps, your plans, everything, how could you possibly switch to a competitor? It would be like starting from scratch. No other AI would have that deep personal context about you. And that right there is Google's massive advantage. They already have all our data living on the platforms we use every single day.
Okay, so while Google is busy trying to become your digital best friend, OpenAI is playing a completely different game. They're going wide. Their strategy is all about reaching the masses. They're not trying to know you personally, they just want everyone to use their stuff. It's a totally different way to think about dominance, so let's check it out. So this really lays out the two opposing philosophies perfectly, doesn't it? You've got Google betting on deep, personal integration. The strategy is all about ecosystem lock-in, using your private data. Then you have OpenAI betting on pure scale and mass adoption, using public data to build a tool that just works for everybody. Their goal, it's all about that network effect. You know, if everyone you know is using ChatGPT, it just becomes the default, the standard way we all talk to AI. And once that happens, it's incredibly tough for anyone else to get a foot in the door.
Up until now, if you wanted the best stuff from OpenAI, you had to pony up for their ChatGPT Plus subscription. And let's be real, for a lot of people, $20 a month, that's a real barrier. It's not a casual purchase. It's like another Netflix or HBO Max subscription. You really have to stop and think, do I actually need this?
But now everything changes. They've just launched something called ChatGPT Go. And in the US, it's just $8 a month. Now that is a completely different ballgame. $8? That's the price of a fancy coffee. It's an impulse buy. It's that casual subscription you sign up for just to try it out without even thinking twice. This price point is designed for one thing, mass appeal.
And here's the really smart part. They didn't cripple this new Go tier. It's not some useless, watered-down version. It's built on their super-fast GPT 5.2 instant model. And you get file uploads, you get image generation, you can even create and edit your own custom GPTs. So, this is the key takeaway. This isn't just a slightly better free version. No way. This is a legitimate daily workhorse, and it's designed to get millions and millions of people hooked on their platform.
But you knew there had to be a catch, right? Of course there is. To make this cheap price work, OpenAI is going to start testing ads. And that's for both free users and the new Go users. The more expensive Plus plan, that stays ad-free. So they're basically setting up that classic model we see everywhere now, like on YouTube. Either you pay up or you get ads. And this is a huge moment, really. It shows that for AI to get to a massive scale, it has to be paid for, one way or another, either by you with a subscription or by advertisers. Okay, so you've got Google and OpenAI fighting this epic battle for our eyeballs and our wallets. But while they're doing that, a third player is sneaking in with a completely different strategy. They're not even focused on us, the consumers. A company called Black Forest Labs just dropped a new model called Flux, and its whole reason for being comes down to one simple, powerful thing: speed. Get ready for this, because this number is just nuts. Flux can generate or edit a photorealistic image in under half a second. Let that sink in. 0.5 seconds. That's not just fast, that is, for all intents and purposes, real time. This completely changes the game. Image generation is no longer this separate, clunky task you have to wait for. It becomes something that happens instantly, on the fly, as part of a workflow.
So why is this such a big deal? Well, a couple of reasons. First, it runs on what they call consumer GPUs. Now that's just a techie way of saying it works on the kind of powerful graphics cards that gamers or creative professionals already have in their home computers. It doesn't need a massive corporate data center. That alone makes it accessible to millions of people. And second, they're calling it agent-ready visual intelligence. Now that phrase is super important. What it means is, because the images are made instantly, an AI agent could, say, build a whole PowerPoint presentation for you, generating unique, custom images for every single slide as it writes the text. It all happens in one seamless flow. Suddenly, visuals aren't just a gimmick anymore. They're a core integrated tool.
All right, let's bring all of this together. We've talked about these different software strategies, right? The personal AI versus the mass market AI. Well, this whole battle is about to get very, very real. It's about to show up physically. In the next generation of hardware, we're talking about smart glasses.
And when you talk about smart glasses, you have to talk about the long, kind of painful history of Google Glass. I mean, look at this timeline. They tried, they failed. They tried again, they failed again, finally pulling the plug in 2023. But now they're promising a huge comeback in 2026. So you have to ask, what on earth is different this time?
The original Google Glass didn't fail because the tech was bad. It failed for one simple human reason. It was socially awkward. It was just weird. People felt like they were being secretly recorded, that it was invasive, and that one perfect, brutal term, glass holes, it captured that entire social anxiety. It wasn't a technology problem, it was a people problem.
So to fix this, Google's new strategy is basically a three-pronged attack. First, and maybe most importantly, make them look cool. Make them desirable accessories that people actually want to wear, not just weird tech contraptions. Second, give them a killer app that only Google can really pull off, like getting turn-by-turn directions from maps floating right in front of your eyes. And third, and this is where it gets really futuristic, integrate advanced health sensors. We're talking heart rate, temperature, maybe even EEG to monitor brain activity. And this is where that personal intelligence we talked about earlier goes from being useful to being something else entirely.
And that brings us right back to the central question, doesn't it? As this incredible technology moves from the phone in your pocket to a pair of glasses on your face, the choice becomes so much more personal, so much more intimate. So, what will you choose? Will you want the AI that is deeply woven into your personal history, your health, your entire life? That's Google's vision. Or will you prefer the powerful, universal tool that everyone else is using? That's OpenAI's vision. You see, the AI race isn't just about who has the smartest model anymore. It's about what kind of relationship you personally want to have with it.